Okay.
Hi, everyone. This is Caroline, and I am excited to bring a guest to our chat today. Someone that I am really excited to talk with and share her energy and her story with you. It is Jazmin Smith. Hi, Jazmin.
Hi, how are you?
Jazmin lives in Alaska. And I wanted her to come on and tell her story about what life is like in Alaska. Of course, it's certainly not one of the top 5 choices for anyone that's thinking about moving abroad. And then it's not really moving abroad, is it? It's still part of the United States. But I feel like there might be a lot of meat in there I mean, it's part of the US, but it's kind of far enough away that if you really like the vibe, you might want to consider it. So thank you so much, Jazmin. So were you born and raised in Alaska?
I was not. So my family's from Savannah, Georgia, and my mom got stationed here in the Army when I was about 5. And I've been in Alaska ever since. She got out the military here. She loved it and said she wanted to stay and raise me in Alaska. And I'm considering myself Alaskan. It's all I know.
Okay, so that's good. You've never really lived outside of the state. What is it like? I know it besides cold. I've never been. I'm not familiar with Alaska, but it is actually on one of the state. One of my list of states that I absolutely want to visit. Is it? I know, and I'm going to ask you questions from my Naviette because I've never been there, but how really cold does it stay cold? I know it gets cold, but how long does it really stay cold there?
So it's not cold all year. I mean, we definitely have cold winters. I live in Anchorage, which is South Central Alaska. So weather-wise, our state is so big, even the weather is extremely diverse. So if you go up north to Fairbanks, that's where it's really cold in the wintertime. It's like anywhere from -30 to -70. I really can't even handle it too much in the wintertime. I went up there for a conference and I was like, I can't do this again. I was so cold. But on the flip side, in Alaska in the summertime, it's so hot. We don't have humidity, but it's like 80 to 90 degrees. And our houses are not really designed for air conditioning. We don't have air conditioning. So in the summer, when it's hot, it's just super hot. And then you have like Southeast Alaska, which weather is very similar to like Seattle, and it doesn't rain much. So it is cold in the wintertime, but we make up for it with like beautiful, warm, 24-hour-a-day sunshine.
Well, that sounds good. I like that. I could live with some of that.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah. What is the population, the Black population there, in terms of numbers?
Yeah, so I would say, well, our whole state population is only 700,000. Half of them live in Anchorage. And I would say that the Black population maybe makes up like 3 or 4% of the population. So it's not big numbers, but we're very active and present. And we have, people that are elected officials, businesses, all of that. So we're like maybe 5% of the population. I don't know how many people number that is, but it doesn't feel like that.
And is it, I guess, I mean, I know that everyone is from the US, but is the culture similar to the mainland as far as, things that you do, or is there like a separate Alaskan culture?
Yeah, we definitely have our own culture. So even though we're a state, it's like we joke that we get trends 2 to 3 years later. Our songs are a little later on the radio, things of that nature. The thing I love about Alaska and our culture is like it's an Alaska first culture. So we're definitely part of the US, but we're very much so Alaskan minded. So it's like this weird, independent, do your own thing, Northern hospitality field. So we definitely have our own unique state culture, mainly because like growing up, we were always taught if something happens to you, nobody else is here to help you. So we've learned to really be resilient and like depend on each other. So we definitely like, cause I've lived in like, I went to college in Atlanta for a while and I travel a lot. So I can just definitely say like, I love visiting my family in Georgia, but there's no place I'd rather be than here.
What are the job prospects like? How is finding work, work-life balance there in Alaska?
Well, our cost of living is super high, but we have a lot of jobs. I mean, I think it's more so a matter of if you want the job. We have a lot of businesses as well. We have like one of the fastest growing entrepreneurship communities in the country, especially with people of color. So jobs are great. There's always a job. I mean, it's just, do you want to work there or not? People start businesses. We have a lot of resources. So yeah, that's actually, people move here a lot, especially the health field. It's a gold mine if you're like a nurse or the medical profession, and they get paid at least $80, $90 an hour. So yeah.
Wait a minute. Did you say 80 to
Yeah.
$90 per hour?
Yeah. So if you have like no experience, they start you off at maybe 60-ish.
Wait a
But
minute.
like we have geographic, yeah,
Zero
60.
per hour.
Yeah. And then like, so they have a lot of relocation packages and like, so like if you're in Anchorage, you get the less pay because it's a city. It's like $50 an hour, but then you go to the villages and those places. So there's actually a lot of Black women here that like came on work contracts and stayed.
No kidding. Well, that's
Yeah,
really
there's a lot.
interesting to know because in our group, we do have a lot of health professionals, and
Hmm.
it's a little difficult going out to different countries looking
Yeah,
for work when you're a professional. But that's interesting to know. Wow, that's pretty good.
yeah, definitely if you're a
That
health
was
worker. Yeah, there's money for that here for sure.
what about recreation? What do we do for fun there?
Well, I would say Alaska has like one of the places I've ever lived that has events all the time. We're really big on culture here. So there's always a cultural activity. We're big on like street fairs and farmers markets. We have a lot of concerts that happen, but also the nature side of it. We have hundreds and hundreds of national parks and trails and lakes and just parks in general. So Alaska's not the state to go to if you're like a nightclubber. We have a little bit of nightlife, but it's more of like community activities, daytime events, and definitely being a big nature person is like what we more so see. And a lot of family events. Like we're really big on family and kids here.
Yeah, so that would be a place for women that have children or they like to
Oh
raise
yeah.
their children. What are the crime statistics like?
Well, you know what's funny? It's because of like because our numbers are so low per capita, they ranked us as one of the most crime-ridden places, right? But it doesn't really feel like that at all because like we don't have many people. So like I live in like the low income neighborhood. Like I'm elected official in Mountain View, and that's the bad neighborhood. But I love it. It's beautiful. So, we have crime, but like when they say we had a record crime year, like last year we had like 60 murders, and that was record and over the top, you know. So like Alaskans' definition of bad and crime feels more polarized, but compared to the lower 48, it would be like scratching the surface.
How has the recent events in the mainland affected the Black community there?
Oh, we've been rallying. I mean, Alaska again is different. Every state has racism. Our racism is more like microaggression-y, and it's more towards indigenous people. But like me personally, I coordinated an I Can't Breathe rally. We had a couple thousand people, so we've been in solidarity. We've been rallying every couple days as well. We have a Black Lives Matter organization up here. The cool thing about up here is that because it's so small and we all know each other pretty much, when we have those issues, we don't have any like barriers to discussion. So like we rallied for a week and protested for a week about our own issues. And that turned to the mayor and them having a conversation and being like, okay, we hear you. What should we do? So we've been feeling it up here too, because a lot of us are from there. We have family there and we have our own problems. So we've been right there with everybody down south and, George Floyd, all that.
Um, so pretty much, of course, it's the U.S. and I'm
Mhm.
packing my stuff and I want to go to Alaska. Is it just an easy transition as far as finding housing? Do you have resources to help? Well, aside from maybe realtors, are there, like, for example, certain areas that I wouldn't want to live in?
Right.
Do you have that type of resource there?
We do. So, I mean, if it's specific to like the Black community, we have a website that I made. It's called Alaska Black Business Directory. It's a statewide directory of all the Black businesses, the ones who gave me their info. And then we have a Facebook group called Black Folks in Alaska. And then we also have another Facebook group called Black Business Owners in Alaska. And we always love to like help each other. If you say you're coming up here, we normally chime in on like, which city you going to, what do you need, where do you go, and we kind of rally around each other because we get excited when more Black people come up here.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I'm going to be coming up there for a visit at least.
Come on up. Come
Yeah,
on up.
I love what I hear so far. So this is really great information, Jazmin. And you are, you said you're an elected official. You are with the Chamber of Commerce there?
So I'm, we have community councils here. So I'm the community council president for Mountain View. It's like a step below assembly member. And then I'm also the Alaska Black Chamber of Commerce president, and then the Juneteenth Anchorage coordinator. And then I have a Facebook group, Black Business Owners in Alaska, and I made a directory out of that. And then I'm an entrepreneur and a single mom as well. So a little, wherever I go, I go.
And speaking of entrepreneurship, is it easy to get set up there as far as like brick and mortar, or would you suggest more online opportunities?
You know, compared to other states, it's actually pretty easy to start a business up here comparatively. Like in terms of licensings and permits, we don't really have as many like rules and stuff. Like we have some, but it's so gray area. You kind of do what you want. I know right now because of COVID, we waived all of our fees for starting a business. So it's literally free until November to start any kind of business. So I would say it's not too bad starting an in-person business. It's more expensive, but it's doable. We have a very good, strong entrepreneurship community here, though.
I like it. I like it. I'm like in Alaska. I definitely would add it to my list. So, any words of motivation for any women that are, you know, and a lot of women right now, I'm sure you're aware, are kind of just feeling a little bit lost and not being able to really think clearly about where they'd like to transition to. And this is one of the things that I'm trying to focus on, helping women that are kind of mentally just a little, you know, confused. And to make sure that the transition is a smooth one and not just one out of frustration. Any advice for example, if someone really besides getting in touch with you, that would be the first thing. Any words of advice for someone transitioning out of the mainland?
I would tell them, start small, start off with Anchorage. That's like the city. And if you can handle Anchorage, you can handle anywhere else, because that's like the biggest city in the state. I would tell them, come in the summertime. It's harder to come in the wintertime because you don't know anybody. You feel like you're alone because you don't know those pockets to go to yet. But the summertime, the Black people come out more. I mean, like, we're getting ready for a week-long Juneteenth. We got a Wakanda ball. So it's like, even us, like, we do things in the winter. We're a little bit quieter. So I'd say if you're going to transition, try to do it when it's not snowing, because you'll get way more help and support. We can help you better. Start off with Anchorage. It's an easier transition if you're coming from a big city, because people are sometimes like, the infrastructure is different. It's small here. And I'm like, if you feel like Anchorage is small, the whole state is going to be small, because that's our state. And then when you get here, you know, or before you get here, a few weeks before, a month, join one of our Facebook groups and tell us you're coming so we can comment and help you. Like, when you join our group, I'm one of the admins, and I think all the Black groups. So just tell us you're coming, you want to move here, whatever, and make sure you tell us where you're going, so then I can start tagging people and we'll start responding and saying, let's go fishing when you come, let's do this, so we can talk to you.
That's exciting. Thank you so much, Jazmin. I really am excited about that. And hopefully women will, you know, put this on their list of considerations. That's just a little taste of what Alaska may have to offer in terms
we working on like having like a group thing. So like, I know COVID kind of messed it up, but you know, like, even if you ever come in like a group, you want to start small or whatever the case is, you know, we're down to help any way we can. Just like I said, let us know you're coming and we can plan to like support you.
Very cool. Very cool. Tell us again your Facebook group in case.
Yes. So there's Black folks in Alaska, and then there's Black business owners in Alaska. And then there is the Alaska Black Business Directory, which is the name of the actual website. So if you get in either of those, you'll be pointed in the right direction for the rest.
Great. Jazmin, thank you so much. This has been really a joy to find out about our little sister off to the side there. And great. Thanks so much.
No problem.
Bye-bye.
Bye.